Welcome to week 6.
Welcome to week 6. Hi, welcome to week 6. So week 6, I didn't do as much as I thought I was going to actually do on the weekend. So Saturday, I ended up filming my week 5 recap video. And then after that, it was around 5 o'clock. And I hadn't eaten by that point, so I then went to the PGP canteen so that I could have some Indian food. And I actually had my, lunch, dinner, my first meal of the day with Eric. And we kind of just chatted for a little bit before we went out to explore the Singapore nightlife. Saturday night. And then Sunday, I decided since I think it was week 2 that we went to Sentosa for Adventure Cove Water Park, we passed by Harpaw Villa and I decided that I wanted to come back to Harpaw Villa so that I could see Harpaw Villa by myself and really take in what the park was really about. So the park is actually based on a lot of Chinese folklore, and also I got to see the 10 Courts of Hell and feed some turtles as well. After Harpaw Villa, I met up with my friend Alyssa, who has been kind of hanging out with her parents because her parents came back to Singapore. So I had dinner with her at Lau Pa Sat. I finally got my first bowl of pho in, I think it's been 2 months since I've had pho, and it was really, really good. It really satisfied my cravings. So every time we've gone to Lau Pa Sat, I always get the mango shaved ice, and again, that night, it didn't disappoint. It was still really good. This week, I did a lot more PCR and gel electrophoresis. Pretty much the entire week I've been doing PCR gel electrophoresis, gel electrophoresis, kind of checking the amplification of my DNA in lab, and I'm happy to finally report that on Friday my DNA was finally properly amplifying the region that I needed it to be, so I can finally test on my samples next week, which is this coming week. After work on Monday, we just kind of returned to Lau Pa Sat, even though we had just been there the day before. Lau Pa Sat is actually one of the most famous hawker centers in Singapore. This time though, we ended up trying out the satay there because every night the road beside Lau Pa Sat closes and then it becomes the satay street where a bunch of vendors lined the sidewalks with their barbecuing stalls, and then we just kind of hung out around there. And I got some beef skewers, and then also we got a large portion of fried rice to share. Tuesday, kind of same thing with lab again, but this time I ended up going back to PGP canteen for dinner because my friends Joanne and Alyssa were both busy, but thankfully I actually met up with 2 other students that are also on exchange here, and one of them's from U of T as well, and then the other one's from U Calgary. Their names are Kevin and Owen. Thanks for having dinner with me, guys. So we just kind of spent dinner together, and then that was my Tuesday night. Wednesday, Alyssa, PJ, and I, we ended up going to Clementi Mall. We met up with a group of other students, and they really wanted to try out some duck. But Alyssa and I really wanted to try out the Clementi Hawker Center there. So it's called the Clementi Town Center, and we ended up having wonton noodles, and Alyssa had fish stew, and it was really good. And then we, after Clementi Hawker Center, we then made our way over to Coconut Rice Cakes, and then headed off to Jurong East so that we could go to Daiso, so that we could pick up some more, I don't know, home essentials, because I was running out of soap, and also I needed to pick up some other stuff, so we went. Again, same thing, gel electrophoresis, PCR again in lab, but after lab on Thursday, we then headed over to ABC Brickworks, which I mentioned in the last video. We ended up going there so that we could finally have some more durian. Actually, there's a really convenient bus, maybe like a stop on the shuttle bus away from here, and then we have to take the actual bus to ABC Brickworks, which is about 4 stops away. And then we had dinner first, so I got some chashu rice, and then after the chashu rice, then we headed over to the durian stalls. And since Eric knows Mandarin, he actually got us a deal with the stall owner, and we got 7 of the D24 durians for $20, which was really good because usually it would be 3 durians for $10. And so we chose the D24 not only because it was the cheapest, but D24 is known to be the creamiest and least bitter durian, so we really wanted to try it out. So Eric, Gia, and I, we shared a box of the 7 durians. Was it good? Was it good? Ooh. How's it? Wait, I need to get slow motion. And then we finished that entire box actually, and I was pleasantly surprised that it really did taste really good. That even though the fruit of the durian, I guess, was quite small, it was very, very creamy, and it wasn't bitter at all. Devoured this box of durian, and Alyssa told me a hack that you can wash your hands with the husk or the seed, and then your hands won't smell like durian, and it actually worked. My hands don't smell like durian. I'm really surprised. Yeah, I know that. Also, edit. I'm looking at the footage of when I said that using the pit of the durian really worked when you wash your hands. Let me tell you, maybe it was just because I couldn't smell anymore because everything smelled like durian because I had so much durian. But afterwards, I smelled my hands again, and they kind of smelled like soy sauce instead of durian. So I guess it's kind of a trade-off. I'd rather have my hands smell like soy sauce than durian, so it kind of worked for the bit better, but I mean, it was a pretty good hack anyways. On Friday, I went to work again, finally got my DNA properly amplifying, and then we went all the way up. So our school location is southwest of Singapore, and we went all the way up to North Singapore, where we went to the Yushin Park's Hawker Center because Alyssa was talking to her lab mates, and her lab mates recommended this really, really good chicken wing place called Tan Wings, and it's all the way up near in Yushin, which is really, really north of Singapore. So we traveled all the way up to try these wings. It took around an hour to travel from here to go up to there, but I gotta say, these wings were nothing like I've ever tasted before. They're actually dipped in fried shrimp. Like the crust of the chicken wings was actually fried shrimp crust. And it was really, really good. And then Alyssa and I, after having the wings, and also we had some other food, we then ended up walking from the Hawker Center towards North Point Mall so that we could get some ice cream at McDonald's. And then, of course, because we were so far away, we ended up having to take an hour train ride back here, and that's where we ended off the week. So, next week, see you back here for week 7.